Hi, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Sandra Lim, also known as the Veggie Maiden on Instagram, and this is a fun collaboration between Good Food People and Green Monday. And I've created 3 really fast-free but easy to put together nutritious vegan recipes. And I've invited Samya Venkatessan to join me in the kitchen today because I really wanted her. She's such a plant-based advocate. I really wanted to see what she has to say about all these recipes today.
I'm sure they're very good and very nutritious, certified nutritious. But thank you so much, Sandra, for having me over. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always nice to be with like-minded people.
Thank you. Let's get cooking.
Before we get started, I wanted to tell you guys that everything that you can see over here comes from Good Food People. All the ingredients over here are available. So if I were to tell you what Good Food People is all about, it's an online marketplace from the same folks who did the salad stock. And the idea is to get plant-based ingredients to your doorstep.
Okay, Samya, are you ready to start making a Thai Turmeric Heura Chicken with more turmeric rice?
Nice! Why not? It's always a good idea to pair turmeric with turmeric. Let me take you guys through the ingredients that we're going to be using, and all these ingredients are available on Good Food, like I mentioned before. We're going to be using this Thai turmeric sauce, and the good part about this is that think about like what a typical Thai turmeric sauce would be. So there is turmeric, fresh turmeric that's been used over here, and then there's of course elements that belong to a Thai sauce. So there's shallots, there's bird-eye chili, there is kaffir lime leaves, there's lemongrass of course. So all of these combined together in a ready sauce for you guys to use it as a dip, as a marinade, as just throw it as a sauce on anything that you like. And apart from that, we're going to be using some sliced red chili, we're going to be using some coriander, of course turmeric for the turmeric rice, some broccoli, maybe some pepper.
Yes.
And of course the hero of the dish.
So everybody, I want to introduce to you the star of the dish. So I know a lot of you are very keen on cutting down your carbon footprint by going plant-based. But if you need more than tofu and you still love and miss the taste of meat, I want to introduce today to you Heura Chicken. So Heura is made by a Spanish brand called Heura, Food for Tomorrow, and it's made out of legumes. And I think it's a pretty innovative product. It doesn't contain soy, it doesn't contain any of the artificial ingredients or dyes, and on top of that, it contains added vitamin B12 and iron, which is often lacking in plant-based diets. So it looks like chicken, really, really close if I could show it to you. And it really tears like chicken, and it cooks like chicken, and tastes like chicken. So I'm really excited to get it cooking to show you how it sizzles. So let's get started on marinating it.
Yeah.
And I'm really thankful for Good Food People for making this magic yellow sauce, because I hate working with turmeric as much as I know how good it is for me. And also, I also want to point that out that turmeric, when you have turmeric, you also want to have black pepper to kind of activate the anti-inflammatory properties.
Right.
So I'm just going to add a couple of these here, shake up the bottle. That's it. And Samya was mentioned that you can use this as a marinade. You can use it to dress it up any salads, and it's really beautiful. This beautiful, beautiful golden color.
It does look very nice. If you want to toss it,
I will toss it.
And I'm going to swap spaces now because I'm going to show you guys how to make a very, very simple turmeric rice, and it's really, really not any sort of cooking that you're really looking at. It's just turmeric and rice. But the important part that you need to understand when you're using turmeric is that it's not best eaten raw. So you should have some heat element so that it can permeate its essential oils and it becomes more digestible. So what I'm going to be doing here is pour a little bit of oil, and I know I'm standing right next to a nutritionist, so I'm very, very careful about the amount of oil that I'm using. But I usually say that there is flavor in fat.
Yes.
And sometimes it is necessary to have as well. So what I'm going to do is, especially when you're using very little fat, what you want to do is you want to kind of baste the entire pan so it spreads through. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a tad bit of turmeric. Turmeric is like gold. It doesn't just look like gold, but it is gold. So you need to use it very, very sparingly. Use it a little bit more, and then what will happen is that you might have a lot of bitter notes that might come through the dish. So what I'm going to do is, and make sure that you don't have the flame or your heat on very high, because the idea is that you just want to give it a little bit of heat. If you use a very high flame or you keep the heat very high, then you tend to burn the turmeric. Okay, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to spread it around, and once a little bit of heat that permeates through the turmeric is good enough, and I'm going to switch it off, and then I'm going to get some, thank you Sandra. Sandra's cooked some rice and brown rice. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to toss this in, if you guys can see. All right, this is a portion for one, I'm estimating.
Yes, it is.
And I'm just going to coat it. I'm also going to add, just like Sandra said, always pepper. Make sure you always use pepper with your turmeric, otherwise there's no point having anything turmeric. Even in your turmeric latte, you have to use a little bit of pepper. So that's the secret of a good latte.
Exactly. Or maybe you just love the color.
And then I'm just going to
So don't forget that you don't have to just use brown rice just because we're using brown rice here today. You could use any sort of white rice, quinoa, cauliflower rice. So you're only limited by your imagination.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks really yellow and good.
And I'm going to put a little bit of salt.
And put a little bit of salt, which I will conjure up for you.
So this sauce, you don't have to salt, is it?
No.
So that's a good point to add.
Yes, and it's always good to taste your food and to see if you need more of it or less of it as you go along. And I think that's the secret trick, isn't it? To keep tasting along the way.
Yes, of course. And it's nice that you're using crystal salt here. And the idea is, of course, I mean, it's great to know that this sauce comes seasoned, because most often than not, you do need to season even though you have sauces. So
I think it's a great blank canvas, because you can season it to however you like it, and you want it more or less intense, you want it more peppery, more chili, feel free to add to it. And the whole point of using a bottled sauce like this is already ready-made. You don't have to fuss with a blender or a food processor. And then while that is going, I'm gonna start to steam up some broccoli as well. So once again, Good Food People has a variety of vegetables, and you don't just have to be limited to broccoli, but I love it just because of the color contrast between the yellow rice and the chicken, and it adds that nice, beautiful crunch as well. I'm gonna start cooking, I'm gonna start steaming it.
I'm just gonna leave this here.
Okay. So whilst that is steaming, I'm gonna start cooking this Heura chicken over here.
And I'm gonna swap spaces.
Okay.
And I'm going to be your sous chef. Tell me what you need.
Nothing. I'm just heating up the oil.
Because you don't have anything to do.
Exactly. So the whole point of this is just to make easy, fast-free recipes that you can whip out in 20 minutes or less. And as you can tell, we're just standing around chatting. It's a great dish to whip out after a really busy day, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. If you look at what we're making here today, you're gonna get your carbs from the rice. It's infused with turmeric, good for you. We have this protein, really high protein dish over here that's high in protein, fiber. We add in the broccoli. You have a complete meal here.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And also, a lot of times I hear from my clients oh, if I'm going plant-based, I'm going to be lacking in iron, which is one of the biggest vitamins or nutrients that people feel like they're going to be losing because they feel like they're not getting enough iron they're not going to get iron from their meat. And so, but I want to tell you a little secret trick as well, that actually for plant-based or vegans, cooking in a cast iron pan actually adds a little bit of iron in it. But not to mention, you can get your iron sources from vegetables, leafy vegetables, and as well products like Heura, which has added iron in it.
Yeah, I do subscribe to the same, because For my pop-ups as well, I'm like notoriously known for carrying a iron wok that I have to make some of my dishes, because I do know that the taste kind of differs when you make it with, especially even if you're making your desserts, etc. You want the caramelization.
Yes.
It really helps.
Yes. We're gonna turn down the heat a little bit, and if the camera can zoom in, or rather, if the camera is eating, I just wish you guys could see how nice and charred it is, and it didn't take long at all. So it's really literally, I think, 3 minutes or so.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just plate this turmeric rice, and I'm just going to plate it here. All right.
So this is the pan-fried Heura chicken. It's browned nicely. It's gonna be nice and crunchy. I'm just gonna use my hands, and I'm just gonna arrange it so that it looks like, I was gonna say a chicken thigh, but but as you can see, it's actually really sizable chunks. And then because I'm greedy and I like my protein, I'm just gonna add a little bit more of it here, like this. And I'm also gonna add in some broccoli here. Remember, we talked about making a balanced plate of carbs, proteins, and fiber. And obviously the eyes eat first, and you always want to think of your color combination, and then you think of your textures, right?
Yes,
in
of
your
course.
mouth and your flavors. And of course, just to bring out the flavors in the Thai turmeric sauce, I'm just adding on a little bit more chili, and also for color as well.
Right.
Yeah. What else would you add on to this dish, Samia?
I would add some nuts.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, like even if you say sometimes even like you don't have nuts at home and you have a granola mix at home, not necessarily chocolate, of course.
Right.
Then that's a great thing to add on. If you feel that your dish is too spicy or your sauce is too spicy, you can balance it out with a little bit of either an agave syrup or something to sweeten up as well. You could add some shallot oil on your broccoli, which again is like flavors, because I feel like even if you don't have anything else in your house, if you have oils and you have certain pantry elements, and you can conjure up something which is interesting.
Exactly.
So those are things that I would definitely think that things that you could add.
Yeah, that's right. And nuts are really a great addition to it.
Yeah.
And also nuts kind of keep you fuller for a lot longer as well. So and fat is important. Remember, this is not a deprivation diet. You kind of want to feel satisfied and happy eating it, right? And I like to kind of finish my dish off with a sprinkling of fresh herbs, because I just think it brightens up the flavor a lot more. I even add some lime here if I wanted to. And that's it. It's easy. I don't know how long we took, but definitely not more than 20 minutes. So you saw how easy it was for us and how quickly we put together this simple dish of Heura turmeric chicken. Now we're gonna try it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start with the turmeric rice to see if I seasoned it well enough.
And I'm gonna start fighting you and start picking out my chicken and eating it. I also want to show you it really mimics the texture of a chicken. So I'm tearing it apart. See, you get that satisfying brown, that crunch of it. And I'm gonna try. How was your rice?
Very good. Very turmeric-y.
It's crunchy, and it tastes like chicken. And it's really nicely seasoned with our turmeric sauce.
Nice. Given that chicken rice was your favorite growing up.
I know. I don't miss it with this.
Yeah, that's great.
And we have actually seen a lot of recipes being done, not just pan frying. You can actually braise it, you can actually poach it. So it's actually really versatile. And you can even put it in, I think my favorite dish that I'm gonna try next is a chicken pot pie, but a vegan version with this. So for all your ingredients that we use here today, it's easily available on goodfoodpeople.sg. And for more ideas and inspiration, you can also log on to Good Food People on their Instagram account as well as their YouTube channel.